let's take a look at the sell-off on Wall Street. Dow is down 113 points as we head into the final hour of trading. Financials getting killed the most today. Meanwhile, Congress has formally asked CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, to testify about what the company is doing to protect user data and privacy. This after it was revealed that the data firm Cambridge Analytica may have improperly gained access to the data of millions, 50 million Facebook users. Joining me now, our very own Deirdre Bolton, along with the founder of Disruptive Tech Research, Lou Basenese. Deirdre, do you think people are really going to delete Facebook? We know that Elon Musk has.
I was just going to say, if you want to go to one person, Elon Musk, he actually was kind of funny about it, I suppose, as he is in all things. He was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even realize that SpaceX or Tesla had their own pages, 2.5 million on each. So, and then he said, oh, yeah, this looks kind of lame. I guess I'll just delete it anyway. So, yes, basically 5 million users gone from Facebook. So he is keeping his Instagram account. I guess I should underline that. And as we know, Facebook owns Instagram. But he says that he doesn't feel that Facebook's influence is creeping in, those were his words, not mine, into the Instagram account as much, for which he has about 7 million followers. But I do think this underlines, this is the real business risk for Facebook, is that, okay, this is kind of funny, it's Elon Musk, it's one person, but he has Tesla, he has SpaceX, he's widely followed as an entrepreneur, and just the idea that maybe Facebook becomes less cool, less usable, and this delete Facebook has actually gained some traction. On the other side, it has more than 2 billion users. A lot of people use it, a lot of even older people, to see pictures of their grandkids, people who have families overseas. Deirdre, so it doesn't go away so easily
even to date, Lou, if you're on Tinder, you most likely need a Facebook account. They kind of go hand in hand. It's so ingrained in our society.
Yeah, it is. I think Facebook wisely recognized long ago that they needed to have their tentacles into our lives across multiple platforms. And like Deirdre said, there's Instagram, there's Facebook Messenger. They've found ways to make it much harder to delete Facebook. And, you know, I would tell you, I think the biggest risk here, the delete Facebook movement is definitely a risk, but the biggest risk here comes from advertisers. If they protest and bail en masse, then the business falls apart. And, you know, I think that's a low probability, ironically, because Facebook's data on its users is so good and its scale is so big, over 2 billion users, advertisers aren't going to want to give up that marketing channel. So, you know, look, I think we said this earlier in the week, Lauren, this too shall pass for Facebook, but this nightmare is far from over. There's going to be a lot of questions to be answered in uncomfortable situations for the CEO.
Indeed, and it's also a business problem, as we've talked about, too, in the sense that Facebook has to decide, are we actually going to just spend more money to get more human engineers who cost money, who want vacations, who want personal time, but they probably need to hire a lot of people to make sure that these data infractions aren't repeated. I want to message as well, or let you know about this message that we got from Cambridge Analytica. The acting CEO says the data that had been obtained from Facebook was in line with Facebook's terms of service and data protection laws. So that's a pretty, basically Cambridge Analytica saying, hey, listen, we didn't do anything wrong. We were following the map, if you like, that Facebook set out. So that's going to be one of the conversations that's continued, to your point, Lou, in D.C. And Mark Zuckerberg is going to have to, I mean, the New York AG has started an investigation. The Massachusetts AG has started an investigation. Senators Thune, Nelson saying, listen, Mark Zuckerberg, you need to come here to D.C.
And
you need to tell us.
There are investigations.
Theresa May, the UK PM.
The Dow just fell about 200 points. And typically, Lou, we've seen the big tech companies, the so-called FANG stocks, recover pretty quickly when there's a big sell-off. We're not seeing that this time around. What do you make of that?
I'm not too concerned. I think this is the trickle-down effects from the regulatory threats that are facing Facebook, right? You've already had some Congress representatives calling in potentially other CEOs from tech companies to talk about regulating their data. I mean, this is just turning into a short-term debacle for Facebook, and it's spilling over into the larger tech stocks. I think if you want to look for protection, you've got to go somewhere into the small and micro-cap land that are largely insulated from all this. But right now, the headline of the day is going to be the breach of user trust. And, you know, there's an old ancient Jewish scholar that once said, be careful, your sins will find you out. And Facebook is learning that the hard way right now. Like Cambridge, Deirdre just shared, the Cambridge CEO is pointing the finger at Facebook saying, hey, we didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that originally sinned here and gave us access to the user data. And it's going to be really hard to restore trust when users know that that was given so freely.
One story that just is not going away because it implicates regulation in other companies as well. Lou, Deirdre, thank you so much for your perspective today.
Thank you.